I took that photo, which can mean only one thing. My impossible dream of meeting Sarah Lancashire came true. It also means I'm going to be spending the next 5 minutes gushing, but there will be a more coherent review on my magazine Super Ink Arts. The link will be in the description. So I was fortunate enough to attend the first screening of the first episode of Series 5 of Last Tango in Halifax and there won't be any spoilers in this video, but if you do just want to know whether or not it's worth watching, it definitely is. I'd put my life on it. There's something about Caroline that makes me feel a little bit less lost, a little bit less alone in the world. And that's not to say that we're anything alike, certainly not our backstories or our present situations, but she's so beautifully played by Lancashire and so fantastically written by Sally Wainwright that I fell in love with her instantly back in Series 1. Of course, there's so much more to Last Tango than just Caroline. I'm assuming that you've seen the series if you're watching this, but if not, a little recap. Celia and Alan reunite after around 50 years and they get married, and we get to watch their families come together and bond and develop. We also get to see a lot of their troubles, Gillian with her farm, Caroline coming out as a lesbian and dealing with her former husband and his alcoholic partner. The wonderful thing about Last Tango is that Wainwright successfully portrays the love and the chaos of everyday family life. There's so much humour in there, even when the scenes are dark and quite depressing, and that's because it reflects real life. It's maybe a slightly heightened version of the average family, but these characters are still realistic. They're believable, they're loving even when they annoy us. Wainwright has created for us an extended family that we can all share. Series 5 is off to a great start. There are a few new characters to keep things fresh, but the characters that we've grown to love or perhaps instantly fell in love with are still there, they're still going strong, they're still messed up in certain places, so it's very much got the same feel and vibe. But there are a few little things in there to keep us on our toes. As it has been quite a few years since the previous series, the young infants have grown up into little girls with their own minds and, in some cases, attitudes, and the relationships between characters have been stretched, they've been strained, and they've blossomed, and it's time for us to catch up with them. So we're watching these characters grow and develop against the scenic backdrop of Yorkshire for very obvious reasons. This is set in Halifax and there is some gorgeous scenery. Attending the screening was my first time in the area, and I could see straight away as soon as I stepped off that train that it really does epitomise some of the most profoundly beautiful aspects of the north. Wainwright is obviously very fond of that part of the world, as we see in her other works like Happy Valley, also starring Sarah Lancashire. And while Yorkshire would have maybe at one point been up and coming as a location, I actually feel like it has now very firmly bedded itself as a strong player in the landscape for filming locations for film and television. I came for Sarah Lancashire, I stayed for the impeccable character development, the realistic dialogue, the gorgeous landscapes and the gripping narrative. Series 5 of Last Tango in Halifax is off to a great start and I cannot wait to see where it takes us next.